Welcome back. The federal government is calling last night's budget the most important and ambitious in decades, while critics say it punishes investors and entrepreneurs. Joining us this afternoon on The Debrief is Billy Milovanovich from the Wine Chats podcast in Brisbane and journalist James Royce in Melbourne. Good afternoon to both of you. James, what are your big takeaways? Was this a good or bad budget?
Look, to be honest, I don't know what was in it. The headline was that the property tax changes. Let's split the policy from the politics. Politically, it's probably disenfranchised coalition voters, so they were never going to vote for Labor, so I guess they haven't lost anything there. Politically, how do we actually measure the success? They say 75,000 people will be able to buy their first home within 10 years. A, that's not a huge number, but B, how do we actually know that? How do we know, you know what, I was able to buy a house in a year because they changed this tax? So I think it's really hard to measure the success of it. I know the Master Builders Association was worried that it would worsen the housing crisis by scaring investors off, and that could also have a negative impact on renters. So I reckon maybe we'll know in 5 years if it was a good budget.
Yeah, I agree, James. There's so much devil in the detail, and how do we actually measure this? Billy, the whole point of the federal government cracking down on this was to make homes more affordable for so many, especially younger Australians right now, that just cannot afford to rent in many circumstances, let alone buy an apartment or a house. Do you think this will make a difference at all?
Time will tell. At the end of the day, I feel like we're getting really mixed messages. Like, as an everyday Australian person just living in this country, the message we just got was, we want young people to invest in their first home, but the rates are going up. We want investors to invest in new builds, but there's not enough tradespeople to even be able to establish that. So I don't really understand how this is supposed to happen. Like, when I bought my first property, not to gloat or anything, but I was like 23. I bought my first property. I was an admin officer. Show me an admin officer at 23 that can buy a property right now. Like, what's happening is crazy. I don't really know if this budget has solved it. As James said, like, we'll see in 5 years' time. To be honest, I think that I'm going to be applying to become a panda at the Adelaide Zoo, because in this budget, it seems like they were the ones who fared the best, right? So I think I'm just going to start munching on some bamboo and
it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Being cared for and fed every day. It sounds amazing.
Exactly.
Billy, great points there. Moving on this afternoon, screen use is robbing children of sleep. Now, we've always known the concerns about this, but this is another study of more than 3,000 children that have found Australian preschoolers are suffering now from a form of social jet lag, and it's putting their development at risk. The study found for every hour a 2-year-old uses a device, their sleep time is delayed by almost 30 minutes. This is so concerning, James. This is more evidence about the dangers of devices, right?
Yeah, and look, again, I want to put it out there. I'm not a parent, so it's very difficult for me to judge here, but I don't understand how mums and dads can allow children as young as 6 months old to get hooked on devices. Surely there's got to be some structure and some discipline to go, okay, we need to break up our day. Yeah, screen time's great for a little bit, but they can't get hooked on it. The problems, it's just going to cause so many problems down the track. So I could understand it if it was old, like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds and older, but I just don't see how this is possible for kids aged 6.
And Billy, I mean, we don't have the really concrete evidence yet, but it seems also with concentration spans, it's that dopamine hit for so many devices as well.
Absolutely. It happens to us as adults, and we know this information. This should be common sense. It does not make sense to me. I don't like to parent shame because parents don't like it, but it is ridiculous to me that the words screen dependent and toddler are in the same sentence. We should be doing better as parents. If your child is throwing tantrums because you're taking a screen away, that should be enough of an indication to you that this is not a good thing for your child. It's okay for kids to throw tantrums, but parents need to start parenting. This is abysmal, and I think it's going to get worse. Like James said, I think that if we're not concentrating on fixing this issue when they're 6 months old, when they're 2 years old, when they're 3 years old, wait for them to get to school, when they need that extra sleep, when they're getting so much information that they need to be able to process through their sleep. If they don't have the ability to separate them from screens and put some really tough measures in place to give them an opportunity to develop their brains properly, this is going to be a problem down the track with future generations for sure.
Absolutely. And also the ability, really, really so many students now are struggling to concentrate in class. Finally, this afternoon, the Daily Telegraph has released and also revealed that power companies are leaving some customers stuck on hold for more than an hour when they're trying to negotiate bills, with existing companies also reporting poor service when they do actually get through. James, this is something that certainly fires me up. The irony of when you're on hold with a telecommunications company.
Yeah, and usually it's because of something that they've done. I think the music is maddening, that clap, clap, clap song that you get everywhere. When it's their fault, they need to call you back. Let us leave then our numbers and call us back. We don't have time for this.
Yeah, and Billy, the other thing that I love is when they can't help you, when they say at the end, which is obviously written on a document, is there anything else we can help you with today?
Yes, there is. Help me. Like, I totally get it. Like James said, if they put on some Beyonce or something, maybe we'd all be quite happy to be on hold all day. Listen, these things are so frustrating. The more I hear, the more I literally just want to be a panda at the Adelaide Zoo. So I will be making my application later today. You guys have convinced me. It is done.
I'll be a referee for you.
Yeah, the three of us. There we go. 3 pandas. Thanks so much for joining us, Billy and James. Have a great day.
You too. See ya.